call the meeting to order and call on Councilman Weaver to lead us in the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call the roll. Need the agenda.
Okay.
You call the roll.
All right. Councilwoman Brown?
Here.
Councilman Weaver?
Here.
Councilman Broughton?
Here.
Councilman Watson?
Here.
Councilman Barton?
Here.
Mayor Lovelace?
Here.
There is a quorum present to do business.
Approval of the minutes from the last meeting.
The council members have received copies of the minutes of the January 9th meeting, and are there any changes that need to be made?
May I offer a motion to approve the minutes of last meeting?
Second.
We have a motion by Councilman Watson, a second by Councilman Broughton. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none. Councilwoman Brown?
Yes.
Councilman Weaver?
Yes.
Councilman Broughton?
Yes.
Councilman Watson?
Yes.
Councilman Barton?
Yes.
Motion passes, and the minutes of the previous meeting are approved as presented.
I would like to welcome our visitors here today, and I'm not even going to mention that Miss Hamilton was late again this meeting. Approval of the agenda.
Okay. Are there any additions or deletions?
Motion we approve the agenda.
We have a motion by Councilwoman Brown, a second by Councilman Weaver to approve the agenda as presented. Is there any other changes? Hearing none. Councilwoman Brown?
Yes.
Councilman Weaver?
Yes.
Councilman Broughton?
Yes.
Councilman Watson?
Yes.
Councilman Barton?
Yes.
Motion passes and the agenda is approved.
Next item is a series of public hearings, and I'll call the first public hearing on Antigone's a resolution.
What I put up here is a copy of the notice as it was in the papers. It gives a little background information and what the amount being requested is.
Is there anybody here that would like to speak in opposition to this grant? Is there anybody here that would like to speak in favor of this grant? Hearing none, I'll close the public hearing. And I would entertain a motion.
May I offer a motion we approve the, I guess it'd be the granting for the $10,000 for Antigone
16.
resolution?
16-2.
Resolution number 16-1227-2.
Second.
Have a motion by Councilman Watson and a second by Councilwoman Brown to approve the grant resolution for Antigone's. Is there any discussion?
I got a question. Now, to make sure I get this right, okay? Normally, when we go vote on a resolution, whatever, you put it up there with the resolution number. But I thought we talked earlier that it was pertaining to during the public hearing for it.
Right.
But really, we don't have to do a resolution number then, do we?
It should be just a motion to approve.
Approve, that's what I
No,
thought.
you gotta make it specific, defining the fact that it will enhance the economic, and you will need a resolution.
So we got to do the resolution number then?
Okay, these resolutions have already been signed in December. These resolutions,
I know, that's for the notice.
so we need separate resolutions for additional resolutions?
That's what I'm asking the question, because the resolution you got now pertaining to the last one, wouldn't it?
Well, the way the resolutions are written, it was confusing.
The resolution that we passed earlier was for the public purpose. This is just what it's going to be used for.
Okay.
So we just need a motion to approve.
That's the question I'm asking before I did that resolution. Because the resolution that we got on the, for the public hearing is the same that we had on it the last time, so it's the same.
Well, the way, yeah, I'm sorry, but the way the resolution read, it was, that, for instance, on Antigone, let's see. At the conclusion, this is in this resolution that was in January that was approved, says
Right.
That at the conclusion of the public hearing, a determination on whether to approve the grant request and the amount of any grant will then be made by the city council. And this was approved and signed.
The motion
It's dead.
to approve.
It's behind.
First one we had
Because the reason I'm asking the question is, it's going to be just like you got it there, we just vote yes or no.
That was my understanding.
Well, I know you got to make an express finding of fact that out of council that it is for the development, industry, economic development of the city. I think in the past, we've always had a resolution after, and you got to can't make that finding until after you have a public hearing. So, if you want to go ahead and do it by motion, and then
So the motion would be that it is in the public, that the council has found that it is
yeah,
in
but I
the
think that
public purpose.
94.01 says what you got to do.
You see what I'm saying?
So if you want to go ahead and do the motion, and if we need to do a resolution, we'll do it the next time. I mean, I think that's how we've done it in the past. So
So
if
we
you
just
want
need
to
a
go ahead and
motion
make the
we just
motion,
need a motion to approve is what you're saying.
okay, you go ahead and do that, and then
They come back next time, the resolution number.
if it's needed, I mean, I'm pretty sure that's what's required. You got to make an express finding of fact, so.
Well, I understand what you're saying, but we're making this express, but as this said, this is, we could do a public hearing, dollar. That's why I said about the resolution number. I was using it to make a motion against it. It wasn't,
Well, you can't use your resolution number because that's not the resolution.
that's what I'm getting at. That's what I'm saying. That's why they want to, I made the first motion, and they said, use it, you kept having that paper, but use that number. I didn't want that number. That's what I'm saying. Okay.
So if you want to go ahead and just make a motion, let us look at the amendment,
Okay. So in order, I'll rescind my motion, the first one, and just offer a motion to approve
the expenditure.
the expenditures. Thank
And
you.
then we have to come back and do it. That may be fine.
Okay. Well, I offer a motion to approve the expenditures for the Purple Paisley in the amount of the $10,000.
This is Antigone.
Antigone, thank you, Antigone.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Watson, second by Councilman Barton, to approve the,
Expenditure.
to approve the expenditure. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, Councilwoman Brown,
Yes.
Councilman Weaver,
Yes.
Councilman Broughton,
Yes.
Councilman Watson,
Yes.
Councilman Barton.
Yes.
Motion passes, and the expenditure is approved.
Next item is another public hearing for Purple Paisley. Call a meeting to order. And it's been published in the paper on proposed expenditure for Purple Paisley. And is there anyone here to speak in opposition? Is there anyone here to speak in favor? Not, I'll close the public hearing. I think this is a Purple Paisley in the amount of $3,500. Entertain a motion to approve the expenditure.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilman Broughton and a second by Councilman Barton to approve the expenditure for Purple Paisley. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, Councilwoman Brown,
Yes.
Councilman Weaver,
Yes.
Councilman Broughton,
Yes.
Councilman Watson,
Yes.
Councilman Barton.
Yes.
The motion passes and the expenditure for Purple Paisley is approved.
Call a public hearing to order. Public hearing to consideration for the public purpose to approve for Irma Salon a $20,000 economic development grant. Is there anyone here to speak in favor of this grant? Is there anyone here to speak in opposition to this grant? Hearing none, I close the public hearing. Entertain a motion on the expenditure.
Motion to approve 16-1227-5.
No, it's just
For the expenditure for
Right,
Ernest.
expenditure for.
Second.
Okay. We have a motion by Councilwoman Brown and a second by Councilman Barton to approve the expenditure of grant to Ernest Salon. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Councilwoman Brown,
Yes.
Councilman Weaver,
Yes.
Councilman Broughton,
Yes.
Councilman Watson,
Abstain.
Councilman Barton.
Yes.
The motion passes, and the expenditure is approved.
Next is a public hearing, call to order for Blue Ridge Capital. Resolution for a expenditure, I think it's a $40,000 expenditure for a new retail store. Employ up to 20 people and have sales in excess of $1 million a year. Is there anyone here to speak in opposition? Is there anyone here that would speak in favor? Not all. Close the public hearing and entertain a motion.
Offer
on the
motion.
expenditure.
Offer motion that we have paid expenditure for the Blue Ridge Capital.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilman Watson and a second by Councilman Broughton to approve the expenditure for Blue Ridge Capital in the amount of up to $40,000. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Councilwoman Brown,
Yes.
Councilman Weaver,
Yes.
Councilman Broughton,
Yes.
Councilman Watson,
Yes.
Councilman Barton.
Yes.
Motion passes and the expenditure for Blue Ridge Capital is approved.
Next item is a public hearing I call to order on Outdoor Adventures LLC. And it's an expenditure of $10,000, which is a lease on a portion of the O'Bannon Park area. Is there anyone here speaking in opposition? Is there anyone here speaking in favor? If not, I'll close the public hearing and entertain a motion for the expenditure.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Weaver, second by Councilman Watson to approve the expenditure of grant in the amount of up to $10,000 for outdoor adventure, or Brewton Outdoor Adventures.
I'd also like to point out, I had some questions earlier today about some of these grants, and some of these grants have been granted and the businesses had not taking advantage and didn't open. And the particular question I had was about the hotel across the street. A lot of these grants are only when you open do you receive the grant. For example, the one across the street was a waiver of up to $20,000 of dumping fees at our city dump, but only if they open. Meanwhile, they pay for the fees that they're using. And so in that one, I think we were waiving up to 50%. So they would have had to incur $40,000 worth of dumping fees. If they never opened, then they would never receive any of the grant. But that's how most of these grants, work. So we hope each and every one of these open and have very successful businesses, but that's how behind the scenes they actually operate. Under old business, we have recreational trails resolution. And this is for a grant we are applying for to the Department of Economic and Community Affairs to extend the existing walking trails at Jennings Park. And we're requesting $76,812, 80% of grant fund to be matched in the amount of $19,203 by the city to extend that walking trail. And Goodwin Mills and Kaywood is the engineering firm that is working on this grant.
Make a motion to approve 17-0109.
Second.
Have a motion by Councilman Barton and a second by Councilman Watson.
Broughton.
Councilman Broughton, to approve the Resolution 17-0109 for extension of the recreation trail in Jennings Park. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Councilwoman Brown?
Yes.
Councilman Weaver?
Yes.
Councilman Broughton?
Yes.
Councilman Watson?
Yes.
Councilman Barton?
Yes.
Motion passes, and Resolution 17-0109 is approved.
Under new business, approval for a special election for the renewal of an ad valorem, a 4-meal ad valorem tax for the city school system. This is every 30 years. This comes up for a vote. I may be wrong. Wouldn't this be after 60 years so far?
I think it's after 90.
It's been 90 years.
I think it was passed originally when Taylorville High School was built in the late 20s. It's Amendment 8 to the Constitution, and we're one of about 16 municipalities that have that specific municipal tax. So it's a real credit to this community and to the city council that it's been implemented for these many years. It goes strictly for education.
Yeah, strictly for education, I said it's been on the books now for 90 years, but every 30 years it comes back up, and I think I'll be able to get to the polls and vote for it one more time. I'd like to say I'd be here 30 more years and get one more time at it. We'll see about that. But we do have to pass, so we have to do immediate
Yes,
introduction first.
introduce.
Make a motion to introduce ordinance 17-0123.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Broughton, and second by Councilman Barton for the approval of ordinance 17-0123 for the school ad valorem tax. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Councilwoman Brown?
Yes.
Councilman Weaver?
Yes.
Councilman Broughton?
Yes.
Councilman Watson?
Yes.
Councilman Barton?
Yes.
Motion passes, and the ordinance is introduced.
I'll offer a motion for immediate consideration, ordinance number 17-0123.
Second.
Okay. Motion by Councilman Watson, second by Councilman Broughton, to immediately consider the ordinance number 17-0123. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, Councilwoman Brown.
Yes.
Councilman Weaver.
Yes.
Councilman Broughton.
Yes.
Councilman Watson.
Yes.
Councilman Barton.
Yes.
Mayor Lovelace.
Yes.
Motion passes, and the ordinance 17-0123 is up for immediate consideration.
Make a motion to approve ordinance 170123.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Broughton, second by Councilman Watson, to approve the City Schools ad valorem tax ordinance number 17-0123. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, Councilwoman Brown.
Yes.
Councilman Weaver.
Yes.
Councilman Broughton.
Yes.
Councilman Watson.
Yes.
Councilman Barton.
Yes.
Motion passes, and the ad valorem tax ordinance is approved.
Next item is a paving service agreement extension for Goodwin Mills and Kaywood. As most are aware, we pave a number of streets. I think it's like 48 additional streets, and one of those streets is Evergreen Avenue. Evergreen Avenue, on the other ones, we generally have not had to use engineering firms, but on Evergreen, it has, underneath that asphalt is concrete, and underneath that concrete is brick, and underneath that is the original water lines, and it's just a complicated street, and if you pave right back over concrete, cracks that the concrete caused will come back in just a few years, and so it's a pretty complicated thing there. Extension is at the same rates from the last, I think, 7 streets, when they did the A-strip street, the same rates they charged us then. So we're just extending that contract for Evergreen Avenue.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Broughton, second by Councilman Weaver, to approve the extension of the paving service agreement. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Councilwoman Brown.
Yes.
Councilman Weaver.
Yes.
Councilman Broughton.
Yes.
Councilman Watson.
Yes.
Councilman Barton.
Yes.
Motion passes, and the paving agreement extension is approved.
Next item is a report from the Chamber of Commerce. The city funds several projects through the Chamber of Commerce, and the Chamber of Commerce also does economic development funded by the city. And so from time to time, they report back to us on what's going on with them. So I'd like to call them out.
Mayor Lovelace, if you don't mind, I'll go first. I have a school board meeting.
Certainly. Busy man.
Council, Mayor Lovelace, Councilman, thank you for having me. Mark Manning with the Greater Brewton Area Chamber of Commerce Economic Development Board. I was asked to come today and kind of give you an update on where we are, what we're doing, where we're headed. First of all, I'd like to report today that we have installed 3 new members to our board. Those members would be Mr. Andrew Clark, Mr. Tommy Sheehan, and Dr. Kenneth Varner. So now we consist of 7 board members, which also would include myself, Darrell Consler, Wendy Falmer, and Hal Clements. So the board is meeting monthly. We'll continue to meet monthly. Sometimes we have to meet more than monthly as things come up. But we are meeting monthly, have quite a few things going on. We've attended a few seminars here in the past. Recently, this past week, we attended the Retail Academy over in Monroeville, Alabama, that was hosted by Coastal Gateway and Coastal Alabama Partnership. Very interesting seminar. The mayor was there, and we had a real good turnout there. Congressman Byrne was there as well, so very, very informative seminar there. We also had representation in Alexander City at the Main Street seminar. Wendy Farmer attended that and brought back some information on some ideas of revitalization to our downtown. So she was in attendance there. We are continuously working with Coastal Gateway. As you know, we're partnered with those guys, and we work with those guys very close to try to promote economic growth here in our community. These guys have a lot of things going on. Some of the things we've mentioned here today, the work we have helped Coastal Gateway with as far as Blue Ridge Capital. We've worked with those guys and the new business coming to town. Also, we're working with them closely with the Downing project out on the 4-lane those items are still ongoing. Other projects that we are currently in draft on is the capital improvement grant funds. We're currently in the process of writing up new application, interpretation, guidelines, those type of things on that. That's currently being drafted. Other things we're looking at is we're working on some website design. We've talked about this a good bit. As you know, website is the way to go now with advertising and getting our word out about our community here. We have also entertained a video from Mr. John Lane. He has 2 different videos there. I think some of you have looked at. Very, very neat videos. New upcoming stuff from a drone point of view about Brewton. We have asked him though to go back. There's a lot of quality of life information there on those videos, but we've asked him to go back and add some stuff like our industrial park and some of our other big main businesses here in our town. We're working with local realtors. We have an agreement with these guys to monthly update us on all their commercial listings, and once our website gets up and going, we'll be able to put those on our website and reach out to those businesses looking to Brewton. So at this time, as you can see, we have a good bit of stuff going on. Is there any questions?
Have y'all had a chance to consider increasing your contribution yet to Coastal Gateway?
We have. We've looked at that, and our budget has been improved there, and we will look at increasing that contribution to Coastal Gateway.
You'll let them know.
We'll let them know. Yeah. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you.
I appreciate the work y'all are doing.
Thank you.
Hello, and thank y'all for having us today. I am Melanie McGugan, president this year of the Chamber, and I'm excited to get kicked off this year. Of course, if y'all know me very well, I'm always at it full force. And so we kicked off 2 weeks ago with, we have 13 board of directors, 2 outstanding administrative workers that lead us. And when I got there, I told them it was the day after Obama's farewell speech, and I said I took a quote from him, but I'm just going to use it here. But my theme to them for this year was show up, dive in, and stay at it. And that was part of his farewell speech about being a good citizen and a leader and a role model, and that's what I've encouraged all of them to do. So that's what we're looking forward to, a huge year this year, and we have a lot of things going on, and I'll just kind of quickly go through them so you'll know. Starting off, we're going to, on March the 7th, will be our annual chamber banquet that we hold every year. That will be at the Hourglass again this year. And our speaker is Mr. Mike Lutzenkirchen from the Lutze 43 Foundation. He speaks on behalf of his son, Philip Lutzenkirchen, who was a player at Auburn University and was trying to be drafted into the NFL and was in a car accident. And so he comes and speaks just on behalf of Philip's legacy and continuing his legacy and about what kind of legacy you're going to leave. So I think it'll be a very interesting guest speaker. And Brewton Mill Credit Union and Peach have come together, and they're also paying for him to speak to all the seniors while he's here that day out at JD. So Neil and Miller seniors will be able to go and hear him so he can speak to those. So that's a great thing. We were excited about that both of those stepped up to take care of that. April the 22nd is Earth Day this year, and really all we do with the Chamber is help promote that. Judy does a lot of that background work with the flyers to schools and news releases. April the 8th will be our Kick It at the Creek, which we hold down at Jennings Park. This year our entertainment is Brandon Henson, who I have had I met him in Tuscaloosa actually, and I absolutely loved him. He's an upcoming country star. He's got several hits out on smaller radio stations. But anyway, he and his band are coming. I think everyone will enjoy it. Great music. May 18th will be our golf tournament that we hold every year. On the 17th will be the 37th Annual Blueberry Festival downtown. And this year, we've already booked. We're kind of excited. We found out about a company out of Texas, Cars 3 movies coming out this year, and they have like real size Lightning and Mater and all of those cars. So those are coming in. I think the kids will love that, and it'll be an attention getter for the kids at least. So we're, of course, already working on that. September through May, we hold the adult leadership and the youth leadership classes. This year, there's 10 adults, and we have 16 juniors from Miller and Neal, 8 from each one. And those are, every month, they're meeting and doing things with our local civic leaders, learning more about the community. This year, I'm excited to announce we have a brand new thing going on, and we're hoping it's going to be great. But last year, several of us took a trip up to Tennessee and visited a community that hold an annual Porch Fest. So September 16th, we've scheduled our first annual Porch Fest, and this is really in the making right now. Our plan is to utilize our historic area on Belleville, and we will have different genres of music on different porches. It'll be a free to the community. All the artists that are coming will be free, of no charge. So it's not a money maker, it's not to cost anyone any money, but it'll just be a time that the community can all come together as neighbors and friends, and you will just walk up and down the street and stop and listen to whatever music you want to at the time. So we're really looking forward to that. We've got a lot of planning to do, but I think if we can get it out there, I think everyone will enjoy it. October the 13th and 14th will be our annual PCA Rodeo. This is our 2-day event that we kicked off several years ago. And we actually, several of us just got back from the PCA Finals in Biloxi this weekend. Every year, it's funny, we make new friends and we meet these people, and they love Brewton. That's all they talked about this weekend. They can't wait to come back. They still ask me if there's a hotel. But anyway, I said no, but maybe by September we might have something, maybe a bed and breakfast. But anyway, they love Brewton, and I'm so glad that we do have a town that they enjoy coming to, because they come from Florida, Mississippi, Georgia, and Tennessee here to see us. November 16th would be our holiday kickoff, as always, downtown. We just help promote, businesses to stay open late so the community can come in and shop. We hope to do a lot more with that this year, if we can just get a lot more participation, bring in some entertainment and things like that. December, Judy mainly works on our Christmas project. She does a lot of the background work and helps Stephanie Walker with that, and that is with the Kiwanis Club and the Sportsman's Club, and that helps the less fortunate children and elderly in our area. And it says over $25,000 was spent locally, and over 500 children were helped and 100 elderly. And I know Judy does a lot of work with that. We're proud of her for that, because I keep telling her we want to get involved with it, but she has it all down to an art, and she really doesn't need us. And then December 8th will be our Christmas parade at 6 p.m., again, a lighted parade. So we have a whole year full of events, and I look forward to working with everybody, and if y'all ever need anything from the chamber, we're always willing to help. So do y'all have any questions?
We
No?
appreciate it, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. As I mentioned earlier, we are paving a number of streets, and so I asked Craig Jerkins to come and give an update on the paving.
Mayor, Council. If you notice, we've paved Sawyer Street from Evergreen down to O'Bannon. That's been completed. Bryant Circle's been completed. Galvin, Pine, and Fleming Lane. Tomorrow they should finish with Elliott Street, Davison, and what we call West Street, which is behind the hospital. We're still working with the hospital on McMillan, trying to move a tractor trailer back there they're using. Should know any day about that. They should be out of here probably by the end of the week, paving. I'm not really for sure about McMillan yet. We're just waiting to see what we can do about that trailer. On a side note is, I have some striping company coming in here, should be here tomorrow, if not this afternoon, to do south end of Sawyer Road, redo Persimmon Street, and a little bit of Lovelace Lane.
And that's just temporary until Sawyer Street.
Just Sawyer Street's temporary.
That paving project gets done,
Right.
hopefully by the fall.
Right.
Great.
And I think on Macmillan, I think the decision from the hospital was the cost now to move. The hospital has a temporary air conditioning unit because one of their chillers in their operating suites went out. But it's going to be there about another 3 months. It's on a tractor trailer rig, and it takes up a good bit of the street. And the cost to move it and rehook it up, they decided not to do that it would be expensive. So although the street's milled up, ready to be paved, it may be about 3 to 4 months that we have to endure that, waiting for the hospital to complete the work on their air conditioning system. So did the company, would they have time, or are they going to have time to do the Kimberly Street while they're here or not?
He was gonna let me know that tomorrow.
Okay.
Do we do Gowan before they leave? No Gowan?
Yes, they're cleaning up today because the asphalt plant got hit by lightning.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm gonna make
They
sure
get it
they
before
get
they
that
leave.
done. Yeah. Any more questions?
Thank you, Greg.
Thank you.
Are there any announcements or comments?
I have none.
Motion we adjourn.